Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com here with Chris and Rod. It is Friday, March 17th. We got Degenerate Friday, St. Patrick's Day, Vegas, March Madness rolled into one. Chris, how's it going?
You said it. You said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's the perfect day. It's Degen Friday. It's St. Patty's Day. Great college hoops card. Tons of money to be made. Tons of degenerate opportunities. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, we're going to rotate you and Rod around in that top corner. We're not going to leave anybody in the top or bottom or anything. That's not what we're all about here. We're going to mix people up. We're going to go full screen. Rod, good day yesterday for you. And Friday's always your day. It's Steak Friday, right? So it's like, so do you mix in the corned beef with the steak? You just eat both? Because I know Rufalo, I don't even have to ask him because for him it's both, right? But it's like, we're not asking.
Well, today is being St. Patty's Day, so you you go to like the steak and kidney pie and do something a little bit more Irish. So I know steak and kidney pie is English, but I do like a big stew, like an Irish stew with my steak today. It's not actually grilled steak, so I'm gonna have a steak, potatoes, and I make like a stew, and then I put it into a pie shell and bake it up. Oh my god, so good! It's like this big giant homemade meat pie with steak in there. So it's still Steak Friday.
Rufalo says just make sure there's a shit ton of potatoes in there for him.
Oh, there is, yeah. Loaded with potatoes, eggs, lots of gravy. So when it comes out, I make extra gravy to put on the side on top of the meat pie. Because usually they skint you on the gravy and meat pies sometimes. So I like to have another ladle full over top. Definitely not skint you on the gravy.
I gotta say, I missed being on the show yesterday. It was a big day to be on. I'm gonna make sure in the future that I don't miss the big days like that. But at the same time, kind of nice to miss a day. It's like I feel a little better. It's like I'm kind of ready to go here, in a good mood, and it's like it's one of those things. I don't know, tough to put my finger on, but we do have a great card today, and that always helps too. I know in the NHL it's a limited card. Did my 7 free picks, and in that it doesn't take me through the entire schedule, but it shows me that there's a lot of choices to go, or there's not a lot of choices to go, and it didn't seem like there was a lot going on in NHL today. So it's just 4 games on the board. Got the Flyers and the Sabres, got the Maple Leafs and the Hurricane, the Capitals and the Blues, and the Ducks and Columbus. So 4 games going on there. All of these with reasonable odds today. None of these minus 380s or anything like that going on. Chris, what do you think?
The one I like here a lot is I'm going to take the Washington Capitals, laying the juice against the St. Louis Blues. The Blues, they just continue to be streaky, and I think the Blues are going to struggle here. The Capitals, they're the only team that's really in any sort of playoff positioning right now. They got a key win over the Buffalo Sabres last time out. I think they beat up on the St. Louis Blues here as well, so I'm going to take the Capitals in the reasonable price at home here.
Rod?
And for me, in these ones, I'm going to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets here over the Ducks. You look at the Ducks; they got pants last night, giving up 6 goals and the loss. So Columbus, the rest of the team here, I think they take advantage and snag a win. Basically, what we've been doing is we've been looking at the 2 bad teams. Just take the team with the plus money, and it's been working out. So we're going to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Ducks in that one.
I'm going to take the Sabres against the Flyers, and this is one of those weird ones where it's like both teams are really good in the puck line in these spots. It's like the Flyers really good on the puck line at home. The Sabres really good on the puck line. So it's like I don't even want to touch that thing. But what I do want to take care is the Sabres against the Flyers, who in this spot, according to the betting tools, are 0-7 in these situations, and that's not good. So I'm going to take my chances here and take the Buffalo Sabres. Chris is looking at something. He looks concerned. What are you concerned about? Someone take your chocolate gold coins here.
Whether or not that actually is the case, that's for me to know and for you not to. See, I'm so
Fudge
angry.
on your camera, or you're just glad to see us?
Next question. Completing the 5th.
Anyways, what do you think was the big surprise yesterday in March Madness? Not like, I mean, Princeton, Arizona, we all saw it. You know, I gave out Princeton in my video. Everyone killed me. I mean, I got crushed in the comments on that one. You know, to me, that wasn't that big of a surprise. And Furman against Virginia really wasn't a surprise either. What do you guys think was like? I thought, to me, Penn State just woodshedding A&M. I mean, it wasn't like that they beat them or anything like that. I'm just saying, woodshedding, right? I mean,
just what I said on the show yesterday. I said that Texas A&M, they flaunt the team to let you shoot the 3. They're like, here you go shoot the 3. If you're going to beat me, well, then you shoot the 3 to beat me. That's not what you want to do against Penn State. They love to shoot the 3, and they did, and they woodshedded them. Outright. I had it. I had that as a premium. That was my $15 play yesterday. Loved that one yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Texas
A&M. I didn't have a premium. I didn't have a premium on it. The other one that I really liked the 2 that I liked at the last minute that I did not put premiums on, but I bet them out here in Vegas pretty heavily. I still have my tickets in my pocket, so I have Arkansas, an Arkansas winner, and I also have an Arkansas winner, and then I also have the other one that I had was Auburn. Those are the 2 winners that I did not put in as premiums that I have pretty big tickets in my pocket, but both those combined are not anywhere near the size of the UCLA or Kansas tickets I cashed. I haven't cashed yet either. Those things are monsters. I mean, Kansas, I bet it, and then I bet it again, and then I bet the halftime. And UCLA, that was my play of the century. You know, that was they played against. I mean, did you look at Asheville's schedule? I mean, that they played to get here, it was like the Blue Hose a couple times, High Point, Charleston Southern. It was like, I mean, the only thing was missing was Chicago State, Bethune-Cookman, and Mississippi State. It's like, where were they? You couldn't get those guys on the schedule or something?
You have to play UCLA in this one.
It's like comes in like the first 2 seconds. It was 14-0 before they got out of the first minute of that.
Yeah, it was just like, whoa. That was another no-doubter.
Well, let's go to NBA first. We'll come back and talk some more college hoops, and also maybe look a little bit ahead to tomorrow, since weekend style shows are a little different. So we won't get a chance to talk about all the games tomorrow. In the NBA, we got how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. So we'll go 4-4 again. We got the Hornets against the 76ers. We got the Hawks and the Warriors, the Cavaliers and the Wizards. We got the Bulls against the Timberwolves. Rod, what do you got for us?
Well, I'm going to go with a crazy one here. I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors plus the points here against the Atlanta Hawks. You look at the earlier meeting between these 2 teams. Golden State Warriors put up 143 points on this Hawks team. It took overtime to snag the win there. But the way the Atlanta Hawks play defense, I think Golden State could easily put up another 143. They just don't play defense at all. And the Hawks 0-5 ATS their last 5 after allowing 125 or more points. I know the Warriors haven't been great on the road, but I think this is a spot they step up and whoop up on Atlanta. Doing the Warriors plus the points there.
I'm going to go for a major upset here in this opening set. I'm going to take the 76ers to beat the Hornets, and I mean beat the crap out of them. I mean, it's 10.5. I don't know how it's not 21.5. I mean, this is like you think like some of these college games get out of hand. oh, wait, this is going to be like that Duke Oral Roberts that I lost yesterday. I mean, this one's going to be an ass kicking. Philly, so much to play for here in this spot, and the Hornets, nothing to play for here, and really just more bad news upon bad news here for this team. Joel Embiid looking at a potential MVP, something we've been talking about on this show for a good couple of months, that we felt that he was probably going to be the guy when push came to shove. Also, the Sixers have now caught the Celtics in the loss column for the second position in the Eastern Conference standing. So they control their own destiny here coming down the pipe for that 2-3 spot in the Eastern Conference. So a lot to play for. The Hornets, nothing to play for. I don't know. I don't see how you get to the 10.5 here. I mean, what's 26 plus 17? I think that's the math here. This one, Chris, what do you got?
Oh man, well, I guess I'll have to go to. I'm going to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. You know, I don't feel like they're the parlay busters anymore. I think the Chicago Bulls getting the edge here just because they're at home, but Minnesota, they've covered their last 4 road games. And I just feel that they're the better team right now with something really to play for at this point. The Chicago Bulls just can't really seem to get out of their own way. Both these teams have been inconsistent, but I just think that on the road, you know, the line has started to already drop towards Minnesota's favor. I think we got to catch it before it gets too far gone. So I'm going to take Minnesota plus the 2.5 here.
All right. Rod, you're up.
Nope. You are.
No.
Or we're on to the next segment.
Next segment.
We're on the next
I
segment.
started that segment. Yep. We're on to the next bowl.
Rockets against the Pelicans. Oof. It does tough to say. Spurs against the Grizzlies. Oh God, Rockets, Pelicans, and what's the get-in price on something like that? The Blazers against the Celtics and the Lakers against the Mavericks. I think they're giving people money to go to that. The Rockets, Pelicans. It's me first, huh?
Yep.
All right, I'll take the Rockets against the Pelicans then. It's like the Rockets kind of playing a little bit better basketball right now than they have been all season, 4-6 in their last 10. Actually, they're playing better basketball than the Pelicans, and they're getting points in this one. The Pels 3-7. This team looks out on their feet, man. This is just a lot of young players, and I think it's kind of like a baseball pitcher as we get closer to baseball season. It's kind of like a baseball pitcher that's one of these young pitchers that hasn't really been around the block all that much, and you get to that second half of the season, it's like, oh man, this is a lot more games than I'm used to playing, you know? And that's what the Pelicans kind of look like with all these young guys, and they kind of look dead, and they don't have their go-to guy. It's kind of like they don't have their crutch, you know? They don't have Zion, you know, to lean on here to kind of take them out of that. And I'm going to take I'm going to take the Rockets. I think they got a good chance to win this outright. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lakers here. Call me a glutton for punishment, but this spot I think just sets up poorly for the Mavericks. You know, their top guys are injured at the worst possible time, as you know, they're in a dogfight in the West with 4 games separating the Phoenix Suns in 4th all the way down. I think it's the Jazz in 12th. You know, the wild card, sorry, not the wild card, the play-in tournament, the play-in spots are all tight within a game of each other. And I just think the Lakers, you know, health is wealth at this point. I think the Lakers, the healthier team, you know, we know their injury status, and the Mavericks to me just look lost without Luka. And if Kyrie is questionable, you can beat the Spurs all you want, but you're not going to get lucky like that too many times in a row. So give me the Lakers here.
How many premiums you got? Oh no, I was just gonna ask Chris, how many premiums you got today?
I think 7.
7 premiums. How many college hoops and how many
6 college hoops, one NHL.
All right. So you have your $15 play. What other packages? Anything?
I got the $15 play. I got an early action College Hoops 3-pack, and then a 3-pack for the late action with the NHL and 2 of those College Hoops plays.
All right. Rod, your turn for NBA.
My turn for NBA. I'm going to go to Memphis and Spurs game. And that's a boatload of points you got Memphis laying. And I'm going to go with the Spurs here in this one, as they haven't fared so well against the Spurs this season. They've met 3 times. And the Grizzlies were favored by 6, 11, and 13.5 points. And they failed to cover any of those. And now they're favored by 9. I'm going to go with the Spurs here, as Grizzlies 0-4 in the last 4 meetings versus the Spurs. It's too many points. We know Memphis doesn't cover big giant spreads like that.
So what do you have going on today? How many picks you got? I know you got Steak Friday. That's generally the 3 or 5 picks on the Steak Friday. People that bet $100 on your picks yesterday only made 4.5 times their money, Rod. You got to pick that up a little bit. I mean, over the last month, people have only made 14 times their money betting your picks on $100 bets. And how do you expect people to survive? That's,
I think they could survive. And then don't include we crushed the parlay yesterday too, so that was a good one as well. So definitely been rolling right along. We're going to keep it rolling right along today. I've got my $15 college basketball swoosh. We crushed it yesterday with UCLA with that one. And it's Steak Friday, so I've got a early morning 3-pack in college hoops. You can scoop those 3 up. The college basketball swoosh is separate today. And then I got a lone play in the NHL, and I got a lone play in the NBA as well. So I've got 7 total plays. I don't know, over Big Dogs Premium. Grab a 3-day pass. It's going to be a massive weekend. We got a huge
then you get today, tomorrow, Sunday, 3 giant days of basketball, because we already have tomorrow, on tomorrow's schedule, the CBB starts. So you have all these other weird games mixed in with these games. And then you have, back into the NIT and everything else. It's like it's a lot of games. So it is that time of year. So chewing them up and spitting them out. So anyway, speaking of college hoops, let's get to it. This is our time of year. We've been covering these teams like this for a long time. So a lot of other people, a lot of their sites, people that jump on board. I told you, I knew, whatever. It's like, trust me, it's odd because normally, like on the $15 plays, we try and work it out in a way that like there's not a ton of crossover, but certain time, there's nothing you can do. But we don't generally coordinate on picks or do them as a group. But I try and avoid people that these guys if I can. But yesterday it was like, Romanelli and I were both, I think, on the same wavelength. It was like UNC Asheville's so freaking bad. It's like there's no way. It's like I'm like I'll bet this thing up to 25. It's like I do not care. So yeah, and I think some of the guys who haven't been as hot, I think they're just sitting on monster days. So I think that's the thing about us is that we go start to finish every single year. We don't wait till after football season to all of a sudden act like we're college hoops or anything like that. We start at the beginning of the season. We do those Thanksgiving, tournaments all the way through, so nothing new, nothing that we haven't seen before. But we've got Michigan State and USC, Xavier, Kennesaw State, Baylor, UCSB, St. Mary's, VCU. 4 fun games to get the action started. Where are we? Is it me? Chris?
It's me. Yeah.
All right, it's Chris.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Michigan State here. I don't trust the 2-man game between Boogie Ellis and Drew Peterson for USC. I think Michigan State gonna clamp down on those guys and force someone else for USC to beat them. And this Michigan State team, another team that loves to shoot the 3. And they do it extremely they do it extremely well. I just don't see USC getting the job done here. Andy Enfield's been a great March Madness coach. I think he's 10-2 against the spread, but I'm not betting against Tom Izzo in March. It's not the same Michigan State team from years past, but it's still a pretty good team. So give me Michigan State on the money line here.
All right, Rod.
And for me in these ones, I'm going to go with the Gaucho here against Baylor. I think that's just too many points. I think Baylor wins it, but it's a single-digit win for Baylor. They match up well against Baylor in many places in this one, and the Gauchos have been rolling right along. Winners of what do they want? 7 straight, and covered in 6-0-1 in their last 7 ATS. I think they keep it close with Baylor. I'm going to go with the Gauchos in that one.
All right, well, where are we? I got premium picks on the other 2 games, so you guys are going to get a free premium is basically what's going to happen right here. Let's see what we got. All right, here it is. I look for Xavier to knock the dog poop out of Kennesaw State in this one. Sean Miller's absolutely a cold-blooded killer in these NCAA tournament games, man. When he was with Xavier the last time, remember that was the I'm gonna zip you up year, and man, they came out in that court in the opening game of that year, and it was a beat down of epic proportions. Sean Miller loves to put the knife in the he loves to finish teams in these tournaments. Man, he's got a team that can bomb threes. When there's one thing we know about NCAA tournament, man, usually if you either go with the dogs or the teams that shoot the threes the best, you're usually going to do really, really well. And you look at Xavier, man, 5th best in the nation at shooting threes, and look who was better than them, right? Colgate. But look who Colgate was playing against. They're 5th best in the nation shooting threes against Ed Cooley, against UConn, against, Villanova, playing against all those big, heavy hitters. Oh, man, I know Kennesaw can shoot the 3 too. Good luck. Good freaking luck, because there's a thing about the level of competition that you've been playing, and I'd hardly say that Kennesaw has been playing against anywhere near the level of competition like the Creighton Blue Jays and even the bad teams, like teams that didn't make it, like Seton Hall and like St. John's. Those were their easy games. It was like Creighton. I mean, we haven't even said Marquette yet, right? I mean, it's like day in, day out. It's like I don't see how it doesn't rain threes here, bombs away on Kennesaw. I don't even see it. It's like you're not playing Lipscomb today, All right. That's what happens. Go to the next. Marquette, speaking of the devil, up against Vermont. Iowa State against Pitt. Creighton against NC State, and UConn against Iona. More interesting games in this slot once again. I mean, this is it's the NCAA tournament, right? It's like I'm already looking at those second round matchups, and we'll talk a little bit about them, when we're done with going through this round. But there's not a bad game in the bunch, because you get to that second round, I always say seeding goes out the window at that point. Yeah. But we've got those 4 games. So, Rod, you're up.
Well, I'm going to look at the Pitt, Iowa State. I just don't understand why Iowa State's favored by 4.5 points in this one. They haven't been good coming into this at all. They're not playing Baylor, so I don't like their chances here at all. I'm going to go with Pitt, who has a better offense, and I just don't see Iowa State being able to keep up the scoring pace of Pitt can keep up. I know Iowa State's defense is definitely a little better than Pitt, but not their offense-wise. I'm going to go with the Pitt Panthers here. Plus 4.5. I think they got a great shot to outright Iowa State in that one.
Chris? Oh, me, right? I mixed you guys around, so I mixed myself up. I'm going to take NC State against Creighton with the points. I think this game is going to be closer than that number, and I think it's just one of those NCAA tournament games where it's like NC State might have a shot at the end of the game to win it, or Creighton might have a shot at the end of the game to win it. But I think these are two teams that are super competitive. I think that NC State a little bit more athletic than Creighton. Creighton maybe a little bit more disciplined, on the offensive end. But I think this is about as even as it gets, with these two teams. NC State, an 11 seed coming into this one, and we've seen teams that have come out of that 11 spot in the NCAA tournament do some major wreckage throughout the years. And I tell you what, the last time we saw Creighton, it was ugliness. But then again, like I said, Sean Miller in tournament games, it's like not where you want to be. You don't want to be on the business end of one of those games. That 82-60 beat down that they put on Creighton last time. We've seen Creighton put up big points, but I think NC State is adaptable to whatever type of game this comes out to be, maybe even more so than Creighton is. So I think with the points, probably in a good spot here. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Vermont against Marquette plus the points. I think Vermont's got a shot to win this one outright. I think Marquette, the weakest 2 seed in the tournament. Shaka Smart, a coach that, we talk about coaches that are built for March. Shaka Smart's the coach that'll get you there, but doesn't do well in March. He's lost 7 straight March first round matchups at the NCAA tournament. And I just think this Vermont team is going to be a team that's going to battle. I mean, I know we talk about level of competition and teams from the America East, not necessarily being teams from the Big East, but this is a talented Vermont team that's not going to be scared to go toe to toe with Marquette. They usually perform well in March. They're always primed for an upset. They're always a live dog. I think they are here as well. So I'm going to take Vermont plus the points.
I don't know, Chris. I have to disagree, not about the pick or anything like that, or with the points. The Shaka Smart comments. I think you could say Shaka Smart has lost in March and all that other stuff, but he's covered on the way out on almost all of those games. He covered on the way out the door. He was a dog in most of those games with Texas. When he was with the last time he had really his own team and his own program, he made it to the Final Four from the play-in game. That's what he actually did. So I think that, maybe last year Marquette was a different story, but he kind of took the team from nowhere to get there. No one even expected them to be in the tournament. And I just think that, in the favorite role, it's not like I'm running into the window to lay 10.5 points with Shaka, but it's like, I'm also not going to bank on him to drop out against Vermont, either out on an outright. So with the points, I'm with you as much as, we're Vermont guys. I mean, this is Club
right?
Yeah. This is
We like Vermont.
Give me a yellow shirt and call me a catamount.
Yeah, right. Vermont's definitely.
They will be in the green today, right? You really think they're going to outright them?
I think they got a shot.
I don't think so. Maybe.
I'm just saying it's worth a shot. What plus 450, 500?
Or you could take your 10.5 points and probably cash.
Well, I'm gonna do both, but I'm saying just it's worth putting a couple bucks on just to have.
It's kind of like when they offer you fries and mashed potatoes. You just do both.
Yeah, exactly.
Just give me both, yeah.
Don't skip on the gravy.
Why choose? Why choose when you can have both?
Right. For me, it's the frings. I like frings, where you get the few half fries, half onion rings. It's called frings. You get a little fries, a little bit of onion rings.
Fring that shit over here. That's what I got.
Yeah, fring that shit right over. Good stuff.
So YouTube changed their language parameters. They changed the language parameters.
So the S-bombs are right. The F-bombs.
Some of these words are okay on occasion. Like most of the words are now okay on occasion, as long as you're not using them in You don't want to push. You don't want to push. So I was at this conference, in San Diego. I got shushed. I was talking to my friend. Shh. Turn around, stink eye. Shh.
Oh no.
I wrote on my pad to my friend. We got shushed. She wrote back, you got shushed. To which I said, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. Maybe. You got Purdue versus...
Maybe I got shushed before.
Are you up, Rob? You're up,
And
right?
this was?
Yeah.
Isn't it you go first? Didn't I go first on the last one?
I went first on the last one. Oh no, you took Pitt, right?
I took Pitt.
Pitt.
Yeah, I thought I went first on the last one. Yeah.
All right. We're kind of back in our old form here, losing track of who we're at. Purdue versus...
Even when it was me and Chris, we were losing track of who went first. Who goes first? What?
Purdue versus fairly disinterested. I tell you what, they win this game. This is the story of the century. The fact that they've even got this far is amazing. They got to be just happy to be there. At least I hope for their sake. Kentucky against Providence. Ed Cooley fan club right here. Miami against Drake. Canes. Canes. Everyone knows I love my Canes. Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon. I'm first. I'm going to take Ed Cooley plus the points here against Kentucky. I'm not sure if we need them. Both these teams have been disappointing in spots. Both these teams have been really exceptional in spots. Neither of them are coming in with a full head of steam or anything like that, but you give Cooley a few days to prepare for anybody. I think he's a better straight-up coach than Calipari is. I think Calipari is a better recruiter. He probably has better talent to work with, but I think Cooley might be a better coach and strategist than Calipari is. And you got a really good matchup here, and you got to, when you start talking about good games and good matchups, and then you start saying, well, you got 4.5 points. I'm only human. It's like they're giving you the points because they're begging you to take them. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm taking them. Chris, what do you got?
I'm going to take Purdue. I'm going to lay the big number against Fairleigh Dickinson. I know Purdue hasn't been a great cover team this year, but I think you're going to see in this game from Purdue what they did against, like Ohio State and even a little bit against Penn State. They're just going to feed Zach Edey. I think Edey's going to have a 40-point game in here. The tallest player for Fairleigh Dickinson is 6'6". Edey's going to stand almost a foot taller than anyone else in the paint. Expect there to be a ton of offensive rebounds. I think they're just going to feed him just peck away, and I think they eventually win this one by 25 plus. So give me Purdue laying the points there.
I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to take Gonzaga here. I'm going to lay that 15.5 on against Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon can score, but not like Gonzaga can score. Gonzaga wins by 20 plus. They just continue to roll the way they've been rolling right along. Roll right over Grand Canyon this one.
They certainly looked great against St. Mary's in those tournament games. I'll give them that.
Starting to roll.
They are starting to roll.
Still getting them at a nice price. I think they win it all.
They're also like one of the worst. They're also like one of the worst NCAA tournament cover teams. I can remember.
They are, yeah. But both teams are not the greatest at covering spreads this season. So.
Yeah, but Gonzaga, I think, hasn't covered an NCAA tournament game in years.
Yeah, they still win. Roll. They roll this one.
You got a Vermont. Are you kidding me in the comments, Chris? Not easy to get. Whoa, shrugged it off. Did you see that?
Can't make everybody happy. I've come to realize
shrugged
that.
It. Shrugged it, man. Wow.
Can't make everybody happy. I've unfortunately come to that realization.
Xavier St. Mary's Purdue. St. Mary's is the sharp chaser pick to me. It's the one that like all the sharp chasers are on, you know, because they have the killer palm rating, you know. But when they played against the good teams, they've gotten beaten every single time almost. And Gonzaga housed them to the last three, and that they played a big out of conference schedule early, and they lost those games. Right? It seems like a lot of the sharp chasers are on St. Mary's today, and maybe I'm dead wrong. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm way off base. It's like one of those things where it's like that palm ranking, the sharps, and all that other stuff. It's like I don't know, man. They were also on Texas A&M yesterday too, right? Something like that.
No, I'm not going to burn the hat this year. I will if they lose, but they're not going to lose. Won't have to burn the hat this year.
That wouldn't be fun.
Nope. It's my pick to win it all. Let's go.
All right. Last set of games. Memphis, Florida Atlantic, Kansas State, Montana State, Indiana versus Kent State, and TCU versus Arizona State. Chris, you first.
All right, I'm gonna go with Arizona State plus the points. I get it. This TCU team has looked a lot better since Mike Miles Jr. came back into the lineup. But they're still without Eddie Lampkin Jr., their big man in the middle. Now, Arizona State, not a great rebounding team, but I think that's just a lot of size to be missing in the middle for TCU. And how many times have we seen, one of those play-in teams with 11 seeds? How many times have we seen one of those 11 seeds, that make the play-in tournament and then get out of the play-in tournament, go on a bit of a run? I think that could be Arizona State here. I think Arizona State worth a shot, on the money line, but I'm taking the points with the Sun Devils here.
And for me, these ones, I'm going to take Indiana here against Kent State. I know Kent State's they had a good year, but the Hoosiers are just a better team here in this one. I think they rolled right along, and I know Flasher's defense is pretty good, but I think the offense of Indy just rolls right along, and they win by like 7 or 8 in this one. So give me the Hoosiers over the Golden Flashes in that one.
That team's generally pretty good in the NCAA tournament over the years. I have to see how that one turns out. And for me, I'll take Florida Atlantic against Memphis. Florida Atlantic, kind of like my Canes, this is a team that the odds makers and everybody's been against them all season long, and all they keep doing is winning and covering spreads and beating teams that that the odds makers say they shouldn't. I mean, they were 30-3 going into their conference tournament final and were a 2-point dog in their conference. This wasn't like they were playing Texas or something. They're playing in their conference tournament. 30-3, and they're a 2-point dog. It's not, doesn't even make sense. Whip the crap out of them. It's like, it's like the Sharps have been getting slaughtered on Florida Atlantic all season. 21-10-1 against the number. I mean, and the Sharps have been on against them 31 times. So you got to figure that Sharps got crushed. I haven't seen a Sharp beat town like this since. I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking Florida Atlantic. Well, this is the part of the show where we go back and we say, well, we only each got one pick in each slot. Any one in any slot that you want to talk about. Chris, you got any game out there that you missed, or you changed your mind, or that you want to talk about here?
Let me see here. You know what? I'll go back and talk about that Golden State Warriors game. I just have a hard time backing the Warriors on the road, but I mean the Hawks. 4 points does seem like a lot with this team, but I think they haven't forgotten about that first meeting where they gave up 143 in double overtime. Remember, they were up handily in that game, and Golden State just kept chipping away and found a way to steal that game. I don't think Atlanta gets them out twice. So I don't always love going against the Golden State Warriors, but for whatever reason, this team can't seem to get it done on the road. So I like Atlanta there.
Rod, any ones that you didn't get to talk about that you wanted to say something about?
For me, we're looking at these ones, and sure, Vermont has made us some money this season, but I ain't going against Marquette. This team's been rolling right along, and Shaka Smart has his boys playing solid hoops, and I think they run Vermont right out of the gym here today. All the sharps are on Vermont going, this can be close, this can be close. I don't think so. I think Marquette runs right over them. You look at Vermont, 2-7 in the last 9 on neutral court, and for me, Marquette's rolling right along the way they did in their tournament. So I think they just continue to roll right along here and win by 15 plus. Sorry, Vermont. I know you made us some money, but not today. Marquette big today.
If Purdue doesn't win by 100 points today, we could pretty much write them off for the rest of the year. This is one of the biggest mismatches of the tournament here. I mean, this is craziness. I mean, Fairleigh Dickinson, let's go back to what we look at a lot. You know, it's not necessarily what they've done, it's who they've played. And while, you know, the Big Ten is never going to be our favorite, you know, they did 4 games in a row against St. Francis. They ran the St. Francis gauntlet there. They didn't even know who they were playing after a while. You know, was it Brooklyn? Is it Pennsylvania? It's just St. Francis. They lost to Sacred Heart and Central Connecticut State. They beat Long Island, who I think is the worst team, by 1 point. I think it's amazing that this team got to the NCAA tournament. We got to give them all the credit in the world. This is a team that's been, right, fairly disinterested. That's what we've called them, right, for all these years. But
yep.
Purdue should absolutely manhandle these guys, like chew them up and spit them out type manhandling. Like if you think like the Kansas Harlem Globetrotters show that they put on yesterday was impressive, this should be equal, if not more. Anyways, we went over USC, Michigan State. We're not going to go over it again. Parlay time. Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to go with go all college hoops here. Go with Vermont plus the points. I'm going to go with Purdue laying the points, and I'll go with Arizona State plus the points.
I like it. Right.
And for me, I'm going to go Marquette lay the points, Arizona State plus the points, and the Warriors plus the points.
I'm going to go Baylor minus the points. I'm going to go NC State plus the points, and I'll join in the fun and say Arizona State plus the points against the William Leases. There's your show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy March Madness. Bet with your heads, not over it. You know, it's just one day of games, even though it's one of the best days of games. Don't go crazy because these are the games. I mean, I was on the wrong end of the San Diego State fiasco yesterday, the foul with 0.7 seconds left. I was on the wrong end of that one. I was on the right end of the Furman one. I had money line in that one, bet on money line in that one. So, I mean, this is March Madness, and that's why these games, they're all crazy like that. So, anyways, have a great day, and we'll see you later. Be sure to tune in later on for Jay's Jam Session NBA show, and then we've also got the drive-through. Make it a winning day.